Yeah. All good soldiers.
Yay.
I'm listening to. Hey, I'm listening to the gentleman. Look who we have here, everyone. Julian Shah-Tayler, how are you?
I'm well, thank you, William. I've been watching, I've been stalking you. So when I heard my music playing, I decided to pop in.
Thank you so much for doing this on a whim. I greatly appreciate your time. Before we talk a little bit of music, what have you been up to, all that good stuff? Where are you in the world?
I am currently in New Orleans. I have a show tomorrow night. I have 3 shows tomorrow night at the House of Blues, New Orleans. I'm opening up with originals, and one of them will be All Good Soldiers. You can hear I'm in the airport right now. Somebody's announcing something and they're saying it very loud. But yeah, so I'm going to be playing All Good Soldiers at the show. Then I'm going to be doing a set of Bowie's songs, and then we're going to be closing the show out with the Depeche Mode tribute band Strangelove. So and then the Saturday we're heading off doing the same thing in Houston, the House of Blues in Houston. So that's where I am.
Okay, so I have to ask you about David Bowie because I was thinking about you in August. Every August, I go up to Lake Tahoe. They put in a brand new record store in downtown Truckee. Every August, I purposely buy a David Bowie album. This year, I bought Black Star.
Okay.
I can't recall if we talked about this album at all. Just quickly, your thoughts.
Black Star, oh, it's magnificent record. I love, obviously the song Black Star is wonderful, and I Can't Give Everything Away. 'Tis a Pity She Was a Whore. Like, there's so many great tracks on that record. Very short record, but
Yes.
everyone a winner.
So what is it about that album that really speaks to you?
I think obviously people like to see it as his swan song. They feel as though he wrote it with the understanding he was going to die, which is not true. However, it makes a very, very effective coda. There was another one that year by Leonard Cohen, which had a very similar effect, which I adore also. You Want It Darker, which those 2 albums that year were just magnificent. And Black Star, I think, ranks amongst some of his greatest work. So, it's definitely in the top 5 Bowie albums. And it was not expected to get something as great as his last ever the last hurrah should not have been that good, especially after people thought he'd gone off the boil. And I didn't. I actually loved the last 4 or 5 albums he did. But Black Star was even better than anything that had come before, which was, so it was great.
So when you're putting together a Bowie tribute, I've seen your live stuff on Facebook and stuff. Are you trying to capture the essence of his work? Are you trying to do it in your own version? How do you approach that?
I don't think about it at all. I mean, I know the songs like the back of my hand, obviously, and obviously now I've been doing it a long time, so I know the songs better than I know my own songs, honestly, and I don't think about it. I mean, I don't feel whenever I hear recordings or see recordings, I don't feel like I'm anything like him, whether singing-wise or presentation-wise. But I think the songs themselves have a life that encourage certain ways of presenting them. So whether that be because they're imbued with this kind of acting gene that he used in his music or not, I don't know. But I don't think about it at all. I just go out and sing the songs the way I love to, and luckily people seem to appreciate that, and I get compliments rather than boos, which is good.
Okay, so let's shift from Bowie to Depeche Mode. When they dropped their new album this year, I mean, I certainly didn't have an advanced copy of it. No way in hell. But when I first heard this, I was deeply impressed with the new album.
With Memento Mori?
Yes. I thought it had a great variety, and there was a freshness to it all.
Okay.
So can you talk to us about your Strangelove tribute band experience, and when you are performing Depeche Mode's newer songs, tell us a little bit about that experience.
Well, in all honesty, we don't tackle the new ones.
Okay.
Certainly for Memento Mori, we have been avoiding their set list because they've been on tour. So we're much in. I'm actually here with Leo. If you want to say a quick hello.
Hello there. How are you? Thank you for letting me steal Julian here for a second.
Oh, absolutely. Have at it.
Yeah, have a great tour there. Thank you.
Yeah, well, yeah, we haven't been doing the Memento Mori songs. I mean, we all have our own feelings about the album. We try to address predominantly the songs from the golden era of Bowie, of Depeche Mode, which tends to end around the tenure of Alan Wilder.
Yes.
Which was after Songs of Faith and Devotion, and then we have a few forays into Ultra as well. But we haven't really tackled the Memento Mori. I mean, I've worked out a bunch of songs from it to play, but while they're out playing, there's no point in us just echoing their set. We want to fill the blanks. So when people will come, for example, we're playing in Vegas very soon around the Depeche Mode originals shows, and what we're going to do is we're going to do an entirely different set. I mean, obviously we have to cover a couple of the hits, but we're doing Fly on the Windscreen, where they're going to be doing, Caroline's Monkey. So we don't want to cross the paths, so to speak. I mean, they're doing what they do brilliantly well, and we would do a disservice to ourselves to try and compete with them doing their own, new material. So eventually, when they finish their tour, we'll probably put a couple of songs from Memento Mori in the set. I'm hoping Soul With Me, because I love that one. That's a highlight for me. And also Before We Drown is I think universally probably one of our favorites. So we'll probably get them in the set at some point. But to be honest, we are much more reactive to fans' requests than we are to any sense of the necessity of it. So we're not concerned.
Now, tell us how long does this tour run for? Does it go to November?
Whose tour? The Depeche Mode
Strangelove. Yeah, the Strangelove Depeche Mode experience.
Strangelove doesn't have a touring schedule. We tour every weekend.
Okay.
So because we don't have a cycle with albums or anything, so we don't have to adhere to that rule. I mean, we just go out all the time because there are enough people across the world, because we're planning a European tour for next year, who want to hear Depeche Mode music all over the world, always. So we're very lucky in that sense, because they're obviously one of the greatest bands that ever was, and they have a very dedicated set of fans.
Okay, so we have a couple more minutes here. I interviewed or I have spoken to artists where we have talked about pockets of the world that they would not expect for there to be a ravenous fan base. So let me give you an example. Paul Simpson's The Wild Swans, 80s post-punk synth pop band. He has found that Manila, the Philippines, has a huge enclave, passionate, loyal fans of the Wild Swans. For your band, Strangelove, where are you finding that?
For Strangelove, that's not a good question. Sorry, W. That's a Depeche Mode fan base, so it's worldwide, and I can't speak to it.
But when you hear from fans who come to your shows, are you finding a place in whether it be the United States or somewhere like, wow, I didn't expect this part of the world to kind of gravitate towards coming to our show?
Yeah, but Depeche Mode have been going since 1980. That's like asking, oh, where would you expect the Beatles fans to be? They're the Beatles of electronics, so they're all over the world. I mean, if you ask me the question about my own music, I could answer that question well. But
Let's go there. Let's go there. Let's take your own music.
Well, I as an entity which is not well known anywhere, I have particular enclaves of places where you wouldn't expect, like Prague, for example, or Mexico City, or I don't know where my other ones are. Turkey, Ankara, Turkey.
Wow.
A lot in Berlin. But no, Depeche Mode is all over the world. They're a worldwide phenomenon. Anywhere they have music, they have a huge amount of fans. Tallinn, Estonia, to, you know, northern Yakutsk. I mean, you could go anywhere and play a Depeche Mode show and sell it out, as Depeche Mode are doing with their tour currently. So
yeah, I didn't go to their first leg in the Bay Area. Hope to make it the second leg when they come back. So I've heard nothing but great things about their latest tour. Okay, let's wrap it up with what's coming down the line for you. Do you have an upcoming single? Anything you want to share?
I have a new single coming out end of September. It's called Fall Apart, and it is a kind of it is a wrap up for the previous album, which was obviously the story of a love story, and Fall Apart is kind of the end of that, I guess. So that's coming out on September 29th.
Okay.
I'm already getting good response for it. It's already getting playlists and blog posts and stuff like that, which is great. I also have a plan to release a greatest hits album, which I'm putting together with my current new record label.
Nice.
There are no solid plans as to when that will be. It will probably be next year, just because we're now running towards the end of the year and we don't want to compete. I've been propositioned and put forward for 2 Grammys this year. One for a remix I did with a band, and one for the album Elysium. We'll see if I'm accepted, because Elysium contains songs that were released earlier and then were re-records. So I don't know whether we fill the category or not. And if we do, then I'm thrilled. I mean, I don't expect to win, because people with lots of money win those things. But you know, to have an eligibility and a nomination is wonderful.
And something I've learned about you in our conversations, your creative mind doesn't ever seem to rest. You're always moving from this piece to that. Is that just who you are? Something that's been
there's no stopping. I mean, why would you? I do the best job in the world. I get to express myself for a living.
Yeah.
Always rolling. I've always got. I have probably 35 unreleased songs that need to find a home, that are finished, sitting on my hard drive at the moment, and a re-release of I just reprinted Elysium, because I sold out of the first print run. So it's the most CDs I've ever sold in my life, the most physical copies of anything I've ever sold. So I have another print run of those ready to sell these shows. So I'm thrilled about that.
So we got one more minute here. Outside of music, tell us some things that you enjoy doing, just to get away from a little bit.
I enjoy playing Mermaid Island with my little girl. She's 8. Chess. She plays chess with me. She's very good.
Nice.
And we play Monopoly, and she beats me. She's very good at Monopoly. I mean, there's a lot of luck with it, but my God, she's beaten me every game we've played.
The digital version or the actual board game version?
We have 2 versions of Monopoly. We have a Bowie Monopoly, and we have a Little Mermaid Monopoly.
The Bowie one, is that like album covers? What is that?
Albums are the properties, and then there's tours, and it's you know, it was gifted me by a fan, because obviously anybody that gives me a gift, it's always Bowie related. So I have a house of Bowie memorabilia.
Well, thank you for your time here. And again, thank you for just doing this right here on a moment's notice. I really appreciate it. And quickly, just tell us again, where are you playing, what time and all that?
Tomorrow I am opening with Originals. I am playing Bowie, and then we are doing the Depeche Mode show, and that is in New Orleans House of Blues tomorrow, Friday.
Great.
And then on Saturday is the Houston House of Blues.
Great. Well,
And I think there are still tickets available, so anybody that wants to come, and anybody that knows me, just send me a letter, and I'll put them on the guest list.
you're a generous man. Thank you, Julian. It's good catching up with you.
William, real pleasure. I will
Yeah,
speak
you
to
too. All right, take care.
All right.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.